Hey everybody, it's Kevin Knessa from over at Shovio.com, host of KC and 60, and also the webmaster of the website of Sid Rosenberg of WQAM in Miami, Florida. Just the other day, the New York Mets released a video or two, and in the video, they decided that they were going to thank their fans for their support throughout the year 2010. Although the Mets didn't do all that much to surprise or to make everybody excited for fans of the New York Mets, I decided that I was going to thank the Mets, individually in some cases, for some of the great things that they did in 2010. And here we go. To Luis Castillo, thank you for absolutely nothing. Once again, in 2010, you showed you were as bad as you were in 2009 and in 2008, and you're one of the greatest disappointments in Mets history. To Henry Blanco, thank you for being a good backstop on occasion, but not for much else other than that. To David Wright, thank you for having a bounce-back season and hitting more home runs in the first half of the season this year than you did all of last year. Now, can you please become the leader we need you to be? To Jose Reyes, thank you again for absolutely nothing. Once again, you were injured more than you weren't, and you're still a clown on the field. Will you ever grow up, Jose? To Jeff Francoeur, the one person on the team who was a true leader, thank you for being a leader in the clubhouse, even if that didn't translate to anything whatsoever on the field. To number 15, Carlos Beltran, thank you again for absolutely nothing. Injured again most of the season, and when you came back, is it just coincidence that that's when the Mets went from first place to fourth place? I don't think so. God willing, you won't be on this team next year. To number 16, Angel Pagan, thank you for being the person who I see as the most valuable player of the New York Mets in 2010. This season would have been abysmal were it not for you, both in the outfield and at the plate. Your spirit and your drive makes you, to me, the best player in 2010 on the New York Mets Baseball Club. To Chris Carter, thank you for being hustling and to always being excited about getting a chance to play the game. If everybody had your attitude, I feel there would have been a lot more wins for the 2010 New York Mets. That's for sure. To Pedro Feliciano, thank you for being the iron horse of the New York Mets and for always being willing to go out there night after night, it seems. 80-plus appearances, not too shabby for a man of your age. Thank you, Pedro. To number 29, Ike Davis. Thank you for showing us, Ike, that there are some good young players in the Mets minor league system. The future looks good with you at first base. If this year is any indication, the next couple of years with you at first are going to be fantastic. To Josh Tole, thank you for being a decent backstop in the second half. And like with Ike Davis, for showing us that there is some hope in the young people in this organization. To number 34, Mike Pelfrey, thank you for making us all look like fools for doubting you at the beginning of the season. There is no doubt that I and many of my colleagues and friends were all saying that we didn't know what to expect out of you. But in 2010, you gave us 15 wins, you deserved more than just that, and you deserve to be on the All-Star team based on your first half performance. As said earlier that I thought that Angel Pagan was the MVP, but if I had a second choice, it would have been you, Mike. To R.A. Dickey, a man who came out of nowhere with that knuckleball and showed us you don't have to be young to enjoy the game of baseball. R.A., it was a pleasure to see you pitch every single night you were out there on the mound, win or loss. Thank you for your youthful vibrance at an older age. To Oliver Perez, the biggest mistake in Mets history. Some people might say that was maybe Bobby Bonilla back in the early 90s or somebody else. I don't think it's anybody but Oliver Perez. You have been a disaster since 2006 when you took the mound in 07, 08, 09, and in 2010. I don't think there was a Met fan in this country who wasn't scared out of their mind that you were going to do something stupid. And you did on almost every single occasion you had out there on the mound, including up to and including the last game of the 2010 season. You said you were ready to pitch, but were you really? I mean, come on. In a no-pressure game that meant absolutely nothing, you walked in the winning run in the final game of the season with your chance to shut up the fans just once, and you couldn't even do that. You're a disgrace to the Mets. You're a disgrace to baseball. And God willing, you will be nowhere near Citi Field next year. Not just as a Met, but by an opposing team either. You don't belong in Major League Baseball. Good riddance. To Takahashi, you did a good job as an interim closer. We can't thank you enough for that. And hopefully we'll see more of it in 2011. To Jonathan Neese, yet another young player who gave everything he possibly could to this team and to this organization. Thank you, and again, like with the other young guys, thank you for showing us that the future could be bright thanks to you. To Johan Santana, thank you again. How hard must it be for you to be on this team? You could have been in the playoffs the last couple of years if you had stayed in Minnesota, but instead you came here and you haven't had a postseason berth yet. Johan, I know it's been tough, but you've gone out there every single night, and even when you got clobbered a couple of times this year, you always kept it together. Thank you so much for doing that. To number 75, Frankie Rodriguez, may you never pitch another game, another inning, another second in Major League Baseball, not just for the Mets, but for any team whatsoever. What you did in 2010, not just on the field, but especially off the field, was as bad, if not worse, than anything I've seen in years out of a Major League Baseball player. And not only do I hope you don't play the game of baseball again, I hope one of the reasons you can't is not because a team won't offer you a contract, but because you're behind bars where you belong. You're nothing but a thug. And again, like with Ali Perez, I say good riddance. To Jerry Manuel, the manager of the New York Mets, you were a pretty funny guy, Jerry. Your post-game press conferences were always a bundle of laughs. But it's time for you to pack it in. Unfortunately, as an X's and O's manager and using common sense, you just didn't get it. So I'm happy to say I'm glad that Jeff Wilpon is ready to part ways with you. To Omar Minaya, the same thing. You may be able to evaluate talent, but as a general manager, what you put together here in New York City with the New York Mets is as bad as there has been in many, many years. It's time, too, for you to go. But I hope you wind up on your feet, because the truth of the matter is, if you're in a smaller market, I could see you doing a lot better than you did right here in New York. So good luck to you, Omar. To Dan Warthen, the pitching coach, who just lost his brother the other day, I hope you're back in 2011. What you did with some of these young pitchers and what you did with Pelfrey and R.A. Dickey is nothing short of amazing. And you did what one person couldn't do, and that is Rick Peterson, and that is bring some pitchers who were struggling back to where they belonged. And I even have a feeling that if you had had the chance, if John Maine had pitched a little bit more in 2010, you might have even been able to save him as well. So hopefully you will be back. To Jeff Wilpon, thank you for, again, absolutely nothing. You have done nothing for this team, for the fans, over the last couple of years, and my hope is you get your head out of your ass and you finally demonstrate that you're ready, committed, and willing to win in New York City in 2011. Start off by getting rid of Omar and Jerry and bringing in the manager that many of us really want to see in Bobby Valentine. If it's not going to be Bobby Valentine, let it be Wally Backman, someone who's going to show some feistiness and some energy, things that we don't often see out of you, Omar, or Jerry. And to the broadcasters, Chris Carlin, Bobby Ojeda, Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez, Kevin Burkhardt, Howie Rose, Wayne Hagan, and Eddie Coleman, thank you for always keeping a smile on your face and a little enthusiasm in your voices. It mustn't be easy to have to call 162 games involving the New York Mets as they were in 2010, 2009, 2008, 2007, and on and on. You all did it with class, you did it with objectivity, and you made the broadcasts fun. Hopefully in 2011, you'll have a little bit more to cheer about behind the mic. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a good day, And let's go Mets in 2011. It can't get any worse than this, can it?